Hello everyone, welcome to the first video of the series Data Structures in Python, and today we're going to be covering the topic of lists. So let's begin. So what are lists? Lists are mutable Python data structures that can hold a variety of data types. Let's see how can lists be named. Imagine list L1. So we have multiple ways of declaring a list. So this is a list. So if I print type of L1, then I print L1, as you can see it belongs to the class list, and this is the list that is printed. Now list can hold a variety of data types. So rather than just being a list of integers, it can also hold a string. And if I give the same commands, so as you can see, a string with integer in the same list can be stored. Now another way of naming list is like this. List, as you can see, is represented by square brackets. Same commands, same list, and same data type. Lists can also hold other lists. So if I am to name this list and then assume I have another list, so as you can see, this list can also hold another list. So this is known as list of lists or nested list, right? So if I am to access this particular element of the list, I would use indexing of 0, 1, 2, 3. So I'll get this list. These are also known as multi-dimensional lists. All right. So now if I have to print the second element, that would be first index of the nested list, I would use this kind of indexing. Okay, so one more thing we'll just see here, that in a list, if we have, let's say, 4 elements, so the list indexing would be something like 0, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so begins with 0th index and up till n-1 index, where n is number of elements in list. Okay, cool. Now moving forward, let's see the different functions in a list. Okay, what if I want to add something to this list? Now let's say I want to add the element 4 to this list, so I would use the extend function. So l.extend 4, and then again print l. Integer object is not iterable. Okay, I should put this in a list, I'm sorry. Yeah, so list.extend, and then you pass another list in the extend function, and as you can see, 4 is added to the list. Lists also support addition function inside. I mean, you can add another list to the list. So for example, I have a list L1 that is 1, 2, 3, and another list that is L2, and that is 4, 5, 6. And if I print L1 plus L2, then you can see the lists are added horizontally. One thing you have to notice, that element wise addition is not done using the plus function in lists. If you use the add function to add 2 lists, it would not add each element to the corresponding element, but it would stack them right next to each other. Okay, so the plus function also works similar to the extend function. Now we can also create a list using list compression. or let's say for I in range 6. So assuming we want the squares of number, so this we can use the for loop inside a list to get the square of a number. So if I print L, it gives me 1, 4, 9, 16, 25 up till 5. Okay, so this process is known as list comprehension. Okay, moving on, couple of functions that we have to cover that involve insertion and deletion in a list. Okay, so the first function is the append function. So let's say I have a list 1, 2, 3, 4 and I want to append the string geeks for geeks in this list. So I'll use the append function. So L dot append geeks, and now if I print L, as you can see, geeks is added at the end of the list. Anything you want to append will be added to the end of the list. Okay, you can append anything and everything. I can even append another list. So if I append another list that has, let's say, 7, 8 and 9, so you see the entire list would be appended. Append is not similar to the plus function or the extend function. Okay, it is very different from that. Keep that in mind. Moving on, the insert function. Same list 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just copy it from here, and this is the insert function. So if we want to insert something at a particular position, let's say I want to insert geeks for geeks at the position 3. So 3 and geeks for geeks. So in insert, first you pass the position that you want to insert the element in, and then whatever you want to insert, you print L, and then you see at the third index or the after the third position. So third index or after the third position, whatever you wanted to insert, in this case geeks for geeks, has been inserted. Okay, now imagine you want to delete an element. So let's say I want to delete this 0, 1, 2 third index, right? I want to delete the third index in L. So I'll use del and L0, sorry, third element, so L3, and then if I print L, as you can see, geeks for geek string has been removed. You can use this to remove any particular element you want. Okay, then you can also use the remove keyword. So now if I use list dot remove, and I want to remove the element 2. Okay, so if I remove the element 2 and then I print L, you see 2 has been removed. So remove works very similar to the del or the delete function. Okay, now we are going to move on to another function, that is pop. So our list is getting smaller because we keep removing elements, so we have to create a new list now. So now we have a list 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We want to remove the last element. Okay, so I say list dot pop and then I print list. As you can see, last element is removed. Okay, so if you want to remove the last element, then you use list dot pop. Wonderful. Now one thing to notice, if I have the list 1, 2, 3, and if I multiply this list, let's say by 3, then I would get 3 copies of the list, but they will all be combined into one single list. Okay, so like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and again 1, 2, 3. Cool. Now let's move on to negative indexing. Now how does negative indexing work? So imagine you have this list A, B, C and D. Alright, A, B, C, D are any random integers. So now you have 0, 1, 2 and 3, right? These are the respective indexes or the indices of these particular elements. However, there is a concept known as negative indexing. So let me just write negative indexing here. So in negative indexing, D, which responds to as the third index, will also respond to being the -1 index. Similarly, C, which is the second index, would respond to being the -2 index. Continuing the same trend, so the last element becomes the -1 element, second last -2 and so on. Okay, this is known as negative indexing. Let's try this in a list. We have a list 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. If I want to print L of -1, you can see we get 9. L of -2, 8. Similarly, L of -4, 6 and L of -5, you get 5. Okay, so this is known as negative indexing. Now let's see what is list slicing. So if I want to slice the list, assuming that I only want the first 3 elements, so I would print this. Okay, so you get the first 3 elements. How does this function? The 0 represents the 0th index and the 3 represents that up to this index. 3 is not included in this. Okay, so if I'm using list indexing, so I have this list and I'm using list indexing from X to Y, then X is the starting index and Y is the index up to which you want the list. Okay, up to which you want the list. Y not included. Okay, so in this scenario, as you can see, we are writing from 0 to the third index. Now what if we also want the third index to be present? We'll add 1 to it. Okay, so you'll also get the third index, which is 8 in this scenario. Understood? Now if I want elements from the first index to the third index, sorry, this is up till the third index. Now if I want to the third index also inclusive, 3 plus 1, 6, 7 and 8. Okay, similarly, now I want to check if an element is present in a list or not. So I say 8 in L, returns me true. So 8 is present in L. Similarly, 7 in L, also true. But if I write 10 in L, it will return me false. So now I can use this to access each element of the list. So for example, so I'll use the for loop for I in L. Print I. I is very random. Let's use the variable name LE. So for LE, let's make it more descriptive. For element in L, print element. So as you can see, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 printed by the order. Okay. And I think this sums up our first lecture for the day. A couple of other functions involving lists, sorting in lists and indexing of lists would be covered in the next lecture. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.